Hi everyone, this is John Lennon from Lennon Photo. Just thought I'd give you guys a quick tutorial on how I took the night sky out here on Long Island with all the noise pollution that we have, the light pollution. It was actually pretty easy. So I used two tools. I used the camera, which I have a D800 with a 24 to 70 2.8 lens, tripod, and then the software tool that we're going to use is Lightroom, which I think is a must for anyone who's taking photos. So let's get started. It started with the night sky, angling the camera in a way that hopefully would catch a little bit of the trees in my area just to add some context, and then pointed up just past the Orion Belt. The settings on the camera were aperture 2.8, ISO 1600, and a shutter speed of 30 seconds. I triggered the shutter with the timer so as not to introduce any shake. And then from there, came right inside and got to work on Lightroom. So I'll show you the Lightroom work. Here we go. So this is the raw picture here that pulls up. The first thing that you're going to want to do is bring down the exposure so that you can start to see the night sky. I like to then go down and set my lens correction profile so that it gets rid of that little bit of vignetting on the edge, and also helps to get rid of the distortion of the 2.8 2470 lens. And then I just kind of play a little bit here with the vignetting just to make sure it's about perfect. The next thing is to increase the saturation, which we're going to do with the first setting the contrast, and then we're just going to pull the vibrance and the saturation up as high as we can. Now the reason why I do this is because then I like to play with the color. So let's get the colors kind of a nice mix between blue and green, somewhere right about there. That seems about right. And then we'll just reset the vibrance of the saturation. Now we want to put really heavy contrast on it, so let's grab our curves adjustment and pull it down here. Now I don't like this one so that it goes all the way up, but right about there, and the reason why we're still having a problem is because of this contrast here. So that seems like a pretty good curve. Now I want to just play with the exposure and get it just right. And at the very end, we can still see a little bit of vignetting. And I think the colors could be improved a little bit here. So let's see, maybe if we go just a little bit darker, maybe 3400 on the Kelvin scale. Gives it a little more of that blue look. And down here into our vignetting for the lens. And we're just going to pull it out just a little bit. Okay, now the last thing that I want to do, there's two more steps here. One is I want to take a look at the noise. And I like to zoom in right here on Orion's Belt. We're really going to be able to see the noise. And just start with the color slider. You can see how much is introduced there with noise, and then as we pull it across, we kind of eliminate it. Right around 50 is pretty good. Also, we don't want to pull this noise too far over, because you can see what happens is we actually lose some of the stars, like especially in this area here. If we pull that noise too far over, we completely lose the stars. But we do want to take a little bit of that noise out. And then the last step before I finish up here is to add a darker vignette with a gradient filter to the trees, just to kind of get rid of, you can see if I pull this away, you can see in this area here it's too bright. There's way too much light pollution where we live here on Long Island. But we're still able to capture the galaxy pretty good. And that looks pretty good. I want to just come in just a hair on my crop. And now we're finished.